I think we all think this, don't we? You know, when you look at Meghan and Harry, you can see the desperation now seeping through in those particular projects. And I don't say that lightly with glee, you know, because working in this industry, I know how hard it is, particularly if you're an unknown, to get anything commissioned. You know, you go to these people and you try your best. You think you've got a fabulous idea, whether that be a thing about, you know, reviewing glamorous hotels around the world. And they'll say to you, lovely, yeah, and who's going to present it? And basically, if they don't like those people, or indeed they've got their own ideas, you're out the door, they take your idea, replace it, and suddenly you've got no, well, you know, money, backup production, it's all gone. Harry and Meghan were totally different because they were given the money, a good percentage of that money in advance, and basically they came up with absolute utter tosh. You know, Pearl never got made, Meet Me at the Lake is a disaster, and of course, you know, you could say, well, what were the other things? The Business Show, Heart of Invictus and Polo, hardly sort of, you know, light setters, are they? You know, that's the problem. Now, as we know, the last roll of the dice is coming along, and this is interesting because once again, Meghan secretly reaches out to the palace. This is, of course, a lifestyle that apparently she was so well wrecked by, she could hardly cope, you know. And let's not forget, she sat down on the CBS show and said, I've only scratched the surface. Oh yes, of ruining everything. But that's another story. Let me explain the background to this. Morning, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for your time. Lovely to have your company. I hope you're all right, whatever you're doing. You are? You're not so bad? Yeah, well, you can nod. If you're a bit tired, we'll have a wave, yes, but you can just nod if you are, you know. Absolutely. It is nice to have your company. By the way, I was travelling up on a train the other day, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's just very strange, isn't it? Do you remember when you were younger, people used to wait till you got off to clean the train? Does this happen where you are in your world? And I just found this odd. A bloke just walks down, massive plastic bag full of, you know, paper cups, crisp wrappers, everything, banging into everything. And I thought, the age of elegance and rail travel's definitely dropped off, hasn't it? I mean, I know that they've got to do a job, and I know it's about time scale and everything, but surely it wouldn't take that long just to put somebody on once the train has docked. You are now the inconvenience, but paying heavily. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Let's get back, of course, to your royal story of the day. Interesting this, because as we know, Markle's gearing up for Christmas, no doubt. No doubt planning to ruin that at some point, you know. I just find it really odd in the trailers with Meghan where she says things like, you know, reaching out with family, you know, and showing how important it is that I'm thinking of them. I'm sure your father feels the same way. I've re-looked at the Thomas Markle story and I really do not understand exactly the problem that he did. I'm sure many of us feel like that. Yeah, I think he was a bit stupid, you know, and obviously he should have, you know, known that what he was going to do could get out there. But you know, so what, he wanted to make a buck, and maybe he saw what was coming with his daughter, who knows. I think Harry's the worst culprit because Harry should be mature enough to think, let this man at least have his side of the story. But no, you know, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets, and suddenly the father's tossed aside. Now she's decided to contact the palace, yeah. And this is because, you see, and this is from a great source, right? And you know this, right, Meghan? So the thing is that she's decided that they're going to have an element of family. Now, the only problem that they have is the dogs are family, the chickens, and if the mother's still hanging in there, that's hanging by a thread, let me tell you. If she's still there, that will be the family, right? Now, she wants to surprise Harry on camera with some of his favourite Christmas treats that he would have had with his family. Now, how about just getting the family, right? You know, that would be the simple thing. But no, she's reaching out to some of the former chefs of the palace and some that still work there, you know, to see exactly what did Harry like and were there any childhood treats that she didn't know about. I'm sure she's gone through everything on Google, so nothing's going to be a surprise, is it really? And that's the ideas that they have. That is the level of production thing. You know, go back, sort of go on this sort of touch it on the royals at Christmas, what did you do, that sort of stuff. And when, as I say at the start of the video, what's weird is that if you really dislike that moment in time, whether that be a work situation or a relationship or something, why would you keep plundering it? Well, we know why. It's for money and content. Meghan has no original ideas, no idea how to interact with people, and clearly no lasting friends. I mean, the new trailer, Chrissy Teigen and Jamie Kern-Lima, and these are the people that are going to draw you in. Did anybody know about Jamie before the podcast? No, I know you're getting full body chills, but did you? You know what I mean? I'd never heard of this woman, right? Not being disrespectful. She's obviously a very successful businesswoman. Never heard of her. Suddenly, she's a star guest, right? Hardly great stuff. Hence the reason reaching out to the palace. Remember, you heard that here first. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.